Hey everyone, welcome in. I'm Captivate, and as some of you may have already seen, I was able to win the Eggman's first OP13 event last night. We did do it with Emu. As you can probably tell, based on the channel, I've been really excited to play this deck, and I got the custom mat for it, as well as the custom sleeves, so they kind of go together there. As soon as I saw the One Piece Twitter page post this art, I was like, I need to make a mat out of it. I thought it looked sick. But yeah, so I'll run over the deck list real quick. I am starting off, we play one of each stage. You'll see this in every single emu list. It's kind of the base of the deck. We play the Empty Throne in just about every matchup, as well as the Marriage Wall, specifically for the mirror. There's a couple situations where you can play that going first into aggro decks, just so that we can play our bodies a turn earlier. And then we also do play 4 of the 5 Elders at your service, and then 4 of the Saint Shalria. Running 8 Searchers is really, really good with that consistency, as well as our leader effect letting us cycle cards. You'll see these in just about every deck list as well, just getting to search for the pieces that you need. I am running 4 of the Saint Guard, as well as 4 of the Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi is kind of a tech card that I feel like came up a little bit later in Asia, and I feel like at this point most lists are playing it as a 4 of. There's a lot of really nice situations where it comes up. Because we search and dig through our deck so much, there's sometimes where you need to use this to put cards in your deck. So like sometimes if you play this and you hit like 2 or 3 5 Elders somehow, you can just use the Shirahoshi to put them back in your deck so you can see them. And then she also has the effect that if your opponent has 6 or more cards, they have to trash one. So into something like Ace, if they whiff one of their searchers, you can play this down, get a card out of their hand, and then make them use a swing into it, rather than swinging at your life. And then I am playing 6 total of the counter events. The Never Existed, it really adds a lot of survivability to the deck. I think if this card didn't exist, the deck would be a lot worse than it currently is because of the fact that we can play our 10 cost for 3 Dawn through the Empty Throne. It allows us to float a ton of Dawn, and obviously, like when we're searching and cycling, we're going to generally be taking these into our hands. So you can get to the end of the game where you have 0 life and you have like 3 or 4 of these in your hand, and it's just impossible to kill you, even if they can get through your blockers somehow. So this is really good. I've seen varying ratios of the World's Equilibrium. Personally, I think it's okay. I could see the argument for running 3 or 4 of it, but in the mirror, you really don't want to see the events because you're playing the Marriage Wall. Once you're getting to your 5 Elders turn, you're going to tap all 10 Dawn, and these just become bricks in the mirror. So I find you can sometimes get bricked on those. And then we are obviously running the full package of 4 of each of the 5 Elders. So I'll go ahead and lay those out. Now, 4 of the Workery, and then 4 of the Mars, and then 4 of the Nostro, and then 4 of the Saturn. I would assume at this point everyone knows what these cards do, but if not, I'll run through them just really quickly for anyone that maybe does not have experience with the deck yet. So starting off, we have the Workery here. The Workery is going to be blocker, and then on KO, he gets to draw us a card. So really good value engine. You can play him in the mid game and then just block one of their attacks, draw a card off of it, and then obviously once we start chaining 5 Elders, he's one of the reasons that we can really amass so many cards. Because we just get to block every turn with him and then draw an additional card. Then we have the Mars here. On play, he's going to let us trash a card and then KO a 5 or less. He is honestly the reason that this deck is so good into green decks specifically, because if they miss their Koshiro or Tashigi to have the protection from the removal, you kind of blow them out, honestly. Like, the only chance Zoro has in this matchup is if they see the Koshiro or the Tashigi. So yeah, he's really good, and then he is also a blocker, so once you start playing your 5 Elders, you get 2 blockers on board. And then we have the Nostro. He is another just insane. Like, every single one of these cards gives so much value, even just as a generic character, ignoring the ton cost entirely. So one play, he does have rush, so you can swing him when you play him, and then if you have 10 or more in trash, when you swing him, you can give something minus 2000 power. So very frequently, you'll just swing into like a 7k or 6k just to clear the board in the mid game after they've already swung at you. And then Saturn, one of the best elders, honestly, just get to search top 5, and then he also can search himself. And then there's also times against like Zoro where you can play him to search and then you just leader effect the Saturn. So you remove him from the board and then it really loses a lot of the value of them playing Tashigi because they can't just Tashigi, rest this, kill it. So you actually get to just draw a card off of this. And then we have the Jupiter. No idea why this card is a 2k. Honestly, this card should not be a 2k for what it does, but he gives all of your other 5 elders plus 2000 power on your turn. So they will always be 5 on your opponent's turn, but on your turn, as long as you have Jupiter on board, they're all 7ks. And then obviously, somehow he's a 2k. I really don't know how. So we're playing a total of 4, 8, 12 2ks. And then we have 4 of the Never Existed and then 2 of the World's Equilibrium. We do also have 4, 5 elders, obviously. I don't think there's ever a world that you run less than any of these. Like, I think these are always going to be 4 ofs. I don't see any reason to change that. And then I did play 2 Stussy. This is probably the most contentious part of the deck right now. No one really has a decision whether this is like a for sure include or if it's more of just a personal preference. Personally, I like it a lot for Ace. I feel like a lot of people don't respect the Ace matchup going first, and while I agree she's not the best on 9, there are game states where you can keep their board clear enough that you can play her on 9, and if you can respond to their 10 costs by playing her on 9, I think it's a really big tempo advantage, and then just being able to clear one of theirs while getting a 9k body on board as you wait for that additional turn to play your 10 cost. Because I think if we win dice roll against Ace, Emo is already favored. I think it's like 60-40, maybe 55, something like that, if Emu gets to go second into Ace. So really we're only worried about going first, and if I'm being honest, I think Ace and Roger are the only decks that this deck can struggle into, and then obviously it can struggle into Zoro if they go second and see everything, but that really doesn't happen too often as long as you're starving them. So I decided to play 2. I really go back and forth between playing her or not, and then as some of you may have noticed, I'm not playing Charlos. I think Charlos is really good for the mirror. I kind of have this spot as like either Stussy or Charlos, the blocker. So I decided to play the Stussy. I'm kind of expecting to see a lot of Ace in these events once we get going. So this is probably the deck list I'll play, at least in the near future. So I hope you all enjoyed. For my matchups, I'll go ahead and pull those up really quickly. My first round, I actually played a Kobe. Pretty interesting there. And then we played the Mirror, and then we played 2 Zoros, and then another Mirror, and then another Zoro. So a lot of Mirrors, a lot of Zoros. I was really surprised to actually not play a single Ace, but it is what it is. So yeah, this is the deck list. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. If you enjoyed the content, as always, please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me, and I will have another video on the road to rank 1 coming out very soon. We did have a rank reset that happened like 2 days ago, so I'm kind of letting the ranks set for a minute. Because I kind of noticed that like if you play a lot on the first day, it's pretty easy to get fairly high. So I figured I'll give it a little bit of time and then we can do like an actual road to rank 1 that way. So I'll catch you on the next video, and thank you all for watching.